It's weird how sometimes you watch a movie, but you understand what they're going for, but the parts are so disjointed that it just doesn't make any sense. That's unfortunately the Goldfinch. What's up, guys, and welcome to Movie and Point's movie review of The Goldfinch, the newest film from director John Crowley, and it's based on the book by Donna Tartt, and it stars Ansel Elgort, Nicole Kidman, Jeffrey Wright, Sarah Paulson, Finn Wolfhard, Oaks Fegley, and Luke Wilson. So in The Goldfinch, it's a story about a character named Theo who's in the younger age, is played by Oaks Fegley. He's a kid who is very intrigued by paintings, intrigued by the art world and so on and so forth. In the process of his mom taking him to the art museum in New York, there is a bombing, and the bombing unfortunately kills his mom, it kills a whole bunch of people. Well, he meets this character. His character gives him a ring to take to a certain character, and he comes across this painting that is this famous painting called the Goldfinch. And he holds on to it pretty much his whole entire life. He doesn't tell anybody he has it. It's declared missing or destroyed or whatever you want to call it. And he has it. It's almost like a personal piece that's close to his mom, because we find out it's like one of his mom's favorite pieces. And we, in the process, get his story from when he meets the Jeffrey Wright character to when he meets this character named Pippa to when he goes to live with his dad and so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. And it's a movie about his life. And the older version, of course, is played by Ansel Elgort. And this movie has its moments. It's interesting in some moments, but this movie is mostly a complete bore. The characters are mean, they're disgusting people. Even the Theo character has motivational problems. He meets a character played by Finn Wolfhard, who's doing like a terrible Russian Ukrainian accent, and they get into like drug escapades and so on and so forth. This movie is just really not that good. I know it's based off a Pulitzer Prize winning novel, and that novel could have been great. It could have been one of the best novels of the year. But I'm sorry, John Crowley, who's known for doing the amazing Brooklyn with Saoirse Ronan in it, it just feels like it's meandering. There just doesn't feel like there's anything here. It feels like there's so many different pieces and parts going on in this movie that you can't get a concept, you can't grasp anything, because you're going from his childhood, which is like a long segment because this movie's 2 hours and 30 minutes for no reason, and then you go into this segment where he's an adult and you find out he's just a mess. He's getting married to this person who was one of the kids of Nicole Kidman's character, and it's just all over the place. I don't understand what the purpose of this movie was, outside of just showing how messed up this kid's childhood was. Everybody outside of maybe Nicole Kidman and Jeffrey Wright are despicable people. I really hate what Luke Wilson is in this movie, and it's the same thing with Sarah Paulson, who I love to death as an actress. She's an amazing talent. Watch the OJ Simpson TV series, miniseries that she was in, fantastic. But they're just awful, despicable people. You get that sense, when they talk about it before he actually comes into the story. But it's like, why is this character like this? It just feels like these characters are just mean and awful for no particular reason, just to have storytelling to it. When the character of Nicole Kidman comes in, she's like real, affluent and proper and just like soft spoken. But when you try to get a sense of these two characters, the Theo and her character just kind of developing a relationship, it doesn't really feel fleshed out. It doesn't really feel whole. And then you get to the later parts when it turns into the Ansel or Elgort, adult, and it just doesn't feel right. And it just feels like, yeah, there was a lot of stuff there, but you don't really see it. And that's the main problem with this movie is they show you a lot of stuff. They show you the Finn Wolfhard, Oaks Fegley, relationship, the friendship that they entail because they're both coming from abusive places. But it just kind of ends, and then you meet the older adult version, and it's just like over the top cliched. And then there's a part with a dealer that goes awry, and it's just like, I feel like this book, like most books that get turned into movies, was like the condensed for idiots for the dummy series, the idiots for dummies or whatever that book series, or that books where you can just kind of read the cliff notes, I guess you could say is what it's called. And that's what it feels like here. It feels like you're getting small bits and pieces of the story, and that's not what you want. You want a story that's cohesive, and you want it to be able to tell the story but not be 8 hours long. You want it to be a cohesive narrative, and that's not what we're getting here. There was no claps in the theater, which a movie like this would get, and that's a problem. But you know, I like Jeffrey Wright in this movie. I think he's good, but he's barely in it. All these characters are, that's another thing. All these characters are barely in it, and I don't understand that. This movie's just really weird. It really is. This is another. This is like the second week in a row I reviewed a movie that had Finn Wolfhard in it, where the movie just, it feels disjointed, it feels off, and something just doesn't feel right about it. And I think it's just the pacing and editing. It's definitely not the cinematography, because it looks beautiful and the music's actually quite good. But it's also really boring. There's a lot of parts where you're just like, I'm just glad I didn't fall asleep, but I'm like, so yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, every character is pretty much despicable outside of Jeffrey Wright and, like I said, Nicole Kidman. And even then, they're just kind of blasé. They're not really in it very much. And for a 2.5 hour movie, you would think more these characters would be more into it. But yeah, I can't recommend this movie. I mean, if you like the Goldfinch book, you might like the movie more than I did. But I can't imagine anybody liking this movie who loved this book, because it feels rushed. It feels not well put together. And after something like Brooklyn, it just doesn't feel like John Crowley had a grasp on this material. And it's probably a mistake of the writer too, who made a lot of mistakes. But overall, it's not a very good movie. So it's a shame, but it is what it is. So, but that'll be my take on the Goldfinch. Let me know in the comments below if you see it. Tell me what you think. If you didn't like it, if you liked it, all that good stuff. Hit the subscribe button, join the Movie Emporium channel, hit the notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next, and comment below on any video that you watch. But otherwise, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these 2 videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.